What's up, everybody? It's your man's KJ the Great, dropping another edition of All Sports Media TV. But first, I want to say, I hope and pray everything is great your way. Now, let's talk about this. Man, we've got some fight news that just blew up and shocked half the world when it was dropped today. Now, as you guys know, December 23rd was supposed to be the long-awaited, undisputed showdown between the undefeated WBC lineal heavyweight champion Tyson the Gypsy King Fury and OLEKSANDR Usyk, who is the unified heavyweight champion. He holds the WBA, IBF, WBO, and Ring Magazine titles now. That fight was pushed back because Fury wanted to get active. He took on the former heavyweight MMA champion, that being Francis Ngannou. And the fight turned out to be a lot tougher than what anyone expected. I'm sure it turned out a lot tougher than what Fury expected, seeing as how he was dropped in the third round. And he never really got off the way that we all expected a boxer would to an MMA fighter. Now, that was just crazy. They had to push the fight back. But that sent, the Saudi Arabia and team and everybody who makes the fights over there into a little frenzy. And they have thrown together, if not probably one of the biggest fight cards in recent memory. And this could go down as fight card of the year. It could probably have knockout of the year on this card at somewhere, but let's talk about it. Now, the headline is said to be Anthony A.J. Joshua, former two-time unified heavyweight champion. He'll be taking on Otto Wallin, heavyweight title contender. That right there is what they're saying is going to be your main event. As you guys remember, Anthony Joshua has got two good wins, you would say, under his belt since his back-to-back loss to Usyk. Otto Wallin, if you guys remember, he went toe-to-toe and busted Fury open, gave him like 40 stitches some years back, and it has, reeled off some nice wins since. Now, the potential co-main to that. Let's talk. The Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder, will be taking on former heavyweight champion Joseph Parker. This looks to be a really, really good matchup, in my opinion. As you guys know, Deontay Wilder, he suffered back-to-back losses to Tyson Fury. Then he came back with a first-round KO over Robert Helenius. And he did switch trainers for his third fight with Fury, and he's been training with Malik Scott ever since. Now, Joseph Parker, we know he trains, and sometimes he's in camp with Tyson Fury. So that's going to be interesting to see right there. I want to see how that plays out. Now, the hope is that Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder both win these fights. If they do, it is said that they will be on the undercard, the co-main to Fury versus Usyk. But let's just hope that all goes well and that happens. Because there's some other things that are lingering behind the scenes where Anthony Joshua could potentially petition to get another title shot sooner or later, but we'll talk about that another time, people. Now, former WBA regular heavyweight champion, that being Daniel Dubois, he'll be taking on former heavyweight title contender, I say it like that, Jarrell Big Baby Miller. If you guys remember, some years back, Anthony Joshua was making his debut here in the States, and he was going to take on Jarrell Miller, but Miller was suspended for testing positive for PEDs, we'll call it that. And then he came back and was suspended again for the same infraction. So I don't really know where he's at with his career and how things have been for him. But I will say for Daniel Dubois, This has to be a statement win. After his fight with Usyk, where he was stopped in the 9th round, it wasn't that he was hurt. It wasn't that he was tired. He quit. I'm just calling it like it is. I know that punch to the midsection area could have been, it should have probably been, a body blow or whatever, and not a low blow. But you have to keep fighting. And he quit. He gave up, and he just didn't have it mentally, and everything just went downhill. So for him, this is going to have to be a statement win. Now, budding heavyweight title contender, Cuban Flash, Frank Sanchez will be fighting on this card as well. He'll be taking on Junior Fa. I believe that's how you say his name. That right there looked like it's going to be a good one. I like Frank Sanchez in this fight. A lot of people are calling Frank Sanchez the boogeyman of the division because a lot of people are avoiding him. And I think it's his time, and I think he's ready. We also got the current WBA light heavyweight champion on this card as well. That being Dmitry Bivol, who was ESPN's Fighter of the Year last year. He reeled off a shutout against Canelo Alvarez and another one against Zurdo Ramirez. And but this year he hasn't fought because he underwent hand surgery. He'll be taking on Lyndon Arthur. I believe that's how you say his name. Lyndon Arthur. He'll be taking him on in defense of his WBA title. That looks like it's going to be a good matchup. Arthur, he had some bounce back wins. He lost to a split decision to Anthony Yard. Then he came back and he won. So, he bounced back. So we got to see. Now, the cruiserweight champion in this that's going to be on this undercard as well. I believe that how you say his name is Ja Apataya or Apatia, whichever one. You guys let me know how to say it. Walk me through that name. He'll be making a defense of his title on the card as well. He's ranked as ESPN's #1 in the cruiserweight division. So we'll see him on the card as well. And also, y'all thought I was done. And also, we will be seeing Filip Hrgović, I believe it's how you say his name, the interim IBF heavyweight champion. He will be taking on, how do you say his name? Mark Demori, I believe it's how you say his name. He'll be taking on him. We do know that the IBF president, Daryl Peoples, they already made it very clear they do not acknowledge rematch clauses. So with Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk possibly having a rematch clause in there, they will not recognize that. And Otto Wallin, he's taking on Anthony Joshua. That respectively, Otto Wallin is #2 in the IBF. Anthony Joshua is #3. So that's where I was kind of saying, Anthony Joshua could kind of whittle his way back to a title, going that route if potentially, he wins that fight, or if he loses, you never know. They already said, whoever wins out of Oleksandr Usyk, Tyson Fury, they're going to have to fight that mandatory next, which will be Hrgović, or they'll be stripped. And then somebody else, the winner potentially of Anthony Joshua and Otto Wallin, can petition to get that fight and be on top as a champion if they win. But this is a massive card, people. Like, they threw this thing together in, a couple weeks, it seemed like. And all of these fighters are really good fighters, in my opinion. I think all of these fighters have shown greatness at some point. So this is going to be an explosive card over there in Saudi Arabia. I believe it's Riyadh where it's going to take place. December 23rd, going down, heavyweights, cruiserweights, light heavyweights, all throwing. So who do you think will get the biggest knockout on this card? I don't know yet, but the closer it gets, I'm going to give you guys my final predictions on all these fights, because I'm going to do it. All these fights. I want to see it. You guys tell me what you think. Drop those comments in the comment section. I will be responding to you guys on this one for sure. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.